First, I'd like to go over products supplied for the acoustic to MIDI drum conversion from Pintec drums. The first is the trigger bridge that is supplied from the existing measurements given to Pintec drums from the customer, as well is a 1/4 inch stereo cable. This is a 10-footer from the module to the drum. Also, we have a 1/4 inch female jack, which will be inserted into the drum, as well as the head trigger, as well as the rim trigger. Now there are 4 triggers in here in all. 2 head triggers and 2 rim triggers. Pintec supplies an extra trigger for both the head and the rim, just in case you damage one during the install process or damage one at some point down the road. You always have an extra trigger. Now you do get an extra trigger for both rim and head for each one of your drums that you'll be converting. Also supplied are Pintec mesh heads, top and bottom. Top and bottom rather. Cut. Now, what I'd like to talk about here is what we're going to start with. Now you can see we've already removed the heads. Next thing that we want to do is we want to remove this vent hole grommet. Now this grommet runs, it basically sandwiches your drum badge. In this case we're working with a Tama Superstar. What the grommet does is it secures the badge to the drum, as well as giving a good looking aesthetic. We're going to need to remove this grommet in order to put our Pintec drums 1/4 inch female into the vent hole. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove this grommet from the inside rather than the outside. You never want to try to remove that grommet from the outside for 2 reasons. Obviously you can damage the badge, which you can put back on the drum using the Pintec 1/4 inch female to cinch it back up to the wood. As well as, of course, you don't want to ruin the aesthetics of the drum by scratching the outside surface, whether that's a painted surface, a laminated surface, or in this case a stained mahogany finish. So in most cases you can pry this grommet, bending it at the edges and bending it inward until it will push out freely out of this hole. Again, we're always going to be working on the inside of the drum, never the outside of the drum. In this drum's case, this is an older drum. This is a 1986 Tama Superstar, a Neil Peart signature kit, and one that's very dear to me, thus why I am using it for the MIDI conversion. New drums are built with different quality and such for acoustics. This drum set means a lot to me in my history of playing, so I want to make sure I could still use this drum set. Those are some of the things that you want to consider when you're picking your drum set, to change to go from an acoustic to a MIDI. Are things like that. There's some other variables which we'll also talk about. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to remove this head. In this drum's case, I'm going to take a flat edge screwdriver and I'm going to gently push these pieces in, basically bending them up and then pushing that in, and removing that bent hole altogether.